What's up, Scrappy Party people? Traci Reed here from tracireed.com with the second video in the tutorial series, What's Your Style? Defining and demonstrating scrapbook styles for the everyday scrapper. Do you feel like your layouts have no cohesion or style to them? Are you wondering if there are rules you're missing somewhere, or if you were absent the day that they handed out the scrapping handbook? Well, this video series will help you define and decide on your own personal style, all while giving you tips and guidelines for every other style along the way. If you've ever wondered, hey, how come my layouts never look like that? Your time has come. In this series, we will cover many of the different scrapping styles out there, from whitespace to clusterriffic, what they are and what they aren't, and we'll give you advice on how to achieve them without ripping all of your hair out. Let's get going on lesson 2, shall we? All about paper blocking. Paper blocking is a very popular style of scrapbooking and is the art of using repeating shapes on your layout to create a pattern or design that is seen as a whole composition by the eye. It can be one of the most fun and visually rewarding layout styles because who doesn't love using up all of the beautiful patterned paper out there? Let's look at some gorgeous examples of paper blocking and then we'll learn how to do it. Paper blocking can be done in a number of ways, and I'm going to be going over the 3 most popular today. The first style is to use interlocking shapes that repeat across the page and join together like a puzzle to create a pattern. We see this concept being demonstrated here with the hexagon shapes in this layout, and again here with the shapes in this layout. This is probably the most common paper blocking technique used because it creates the most obvious repetition, and as humans we love pattern because it's visually pleasing. The second style seen most often in paper blocking layouts is the use of overlapping shapes, like the heart shown in this layout. Or you can even stretch this definition further and include various sizes of the same shape as well, as is demonstrated in this layout. Now, to be clear, there are other styles of layouts that use overlapping paper layers, but in paper block layouts, the emphasis is on a single shape repeated across the page, in this case a heart, and in other styles, the shapes vary and overlap in more of a stacked manner and cannot be truly considered paper blocked. Finally, one of the easiest ways to get a very effective paper blocked effect is to create strips of paper on your layout that create an overall striped effect this can be done in a few ways. The most common are the sunburst method demonstrated in this layout with papers radiating out of a single point, which is most often where you put your photo, and the striped method shown in this layout that creates an overlapping paper piece look in the background of your layout. As you can see, paper block layouts are as varied as can be, but let's tackle the hardest paper blocking technique to replicate, the interlocking shapes. I'll show you that with just a few clicks of the mouse, you can have a perfectly spaced interlocking design that is repeatable across your page with ease. Step 1. Using your shape tool, create the shape you'd like to use on your document. In this case, I used a hexagon. Then make 2 copies of the same shape and align them as shown. They do not have to be perfectly spaced. Next, using your pointer tool and the Shift key, select 2 lower shapes, or the ones I've made white on the example, and move your cursor up to the top toolbar and click Align Vertical Centers. This will make sure that both shapes are at the same vertical position on your page. Next, using your pointer tool and the Shift key again, select all 3 shapes now and click Distribute Horizontal Centers in your top toolbar. This will make sure that all 3 shapes are evenly spaced horizontally. Finally, duplicate the top shape and drag it directly below, holding down the Shift key so that it stays aligned with the original shape. You will notice that the shapes in my example are not evenly spaced. You can continue to nudge your shapes around with your arrow keys until the spacing between them is to your liking, and then repeat this process again until you're happy with the cluster. This really is a trial and error part of the process, and everyone is going to be happy with different spacing between their shapes, so feel free to play. When you have your spacing right, repeat the grouping as many times as you like across your page by selecting all 4 shapes and holding down Command-Option on a Mac, or Control and Alt on a PC while you click and drag your shapes across the page. Finally, clip your desired papers to your shapes and begin the rest of your layout. Whew, let's recap. Paper blocking is the art of creating a layout using repetitive shapes that create patterns or designs that are seen as a whole composition by the eye. This can be accomplished in a number of ways, and most common being interlocking shapes, overlapping shapes, and paper strips. I hope this tutorial has helped clarify the paper blocking technique for you and given you some insight on how to achieve this popular look. Feel free to leave comments or questions below. Did you find this tutorial helpful? Do you think that somebody else would? Feel free to hit the share button below and tell a friend, or even pin it to Pinterest. Until next time!